Circumstances Kickstart process. In 2015, I found myself teaching high school social science with a challenging schedule. At least challenging for me, a musician. I was assigned a zero period, a class that starts before school starts at 6:30 a.m. My commute was about 45 minutes, so I found myself waking up around the time that I normally was coming home from the studio. What a shift. One unexpected benefit of my new schedule was getting off before everyone else, and I discovered I had lots of extra time, like a whole extra day, it seemed. So I took up running. I ran the trails around my neighborhood, which were just about 3.5 miles in total. The first few times I went out were a disaster. I ran about a mile and then petered out. I made it a little further each time I went out, and then finally, one day, I ran the whole thing without stopping. It was while I was running that I first had the idea to write a story instead of a song or an album like I normally do. I had been toying with writing an album's worth of music that told the story of an astronaut who was the first to get to Mars, but he discovers there's an ancient remnant of humans that live under the surface. That would make a cool grip of songs, I thought, cool themes. The more I ran during that year, the more I thought of this character and how much I liked him, and figured I should give him a name. I thought Hadron sounded cool because it's a reference to physics research and particles and sounded science-y, like the character in my imagination. Well, each morning as the semester went on, fewer and fewer students would show up to class, and oftentimes no students would show up at all, and I had an hour at least sitting there by myself in the corner of the math building all by myself. Why did they put me in the opposite building from the social science department? The Hadron Google Doc was born, and I decided I would try an exercise of writing a little bit each morning. I had no idea what I was doing, so I created a separate Google Doc to outline some ideas or potential plot points and themes. This pattern of waking up at an ungodly hour, writing a little in the mornings, and then running in the afternoons, and I did not do this every single day, maybe twice a week or 3 at the most, it started to kind of work. I would get new ideas about characters and beats and themes right around mile 2, then try to hurry jog home to jot them down in my Google Docs. The next morning, try to reason them out into the story. It was around this time that either through a YouTube video or a blog about writing, I don't remember, that I heard the idea that when writing a story, you are first telling yourself the story and just trying to get from point A to point B, to not worry about self-editing too much. I liked this idea a lot, and it stuck with me as a parallel into songwriting and really any creative process. Point A to point B. For someone like me who habitually overthinks the creative process, this was a helpful brain hack. And to bring this process idea around full circle, I think that a change of circumstances really does kickstart process if you're paying attention. A complete change in routine forced me to reevaluate my time. I had to figure out how to actually get from point A to point B and not be late to work, how to run from point A to point B without giving up, and now it seemed I'd be writing from point A to point B, knowing full well that this self-inflicted project was going to take an extremely long time. But that's process fully embraced. You say, I have no idea how long this is going to take, but I'm going from here to there and trying to stay reflective and pay attention to how things sound as I go. Then, hopefully, someday when I look back, I will have made something from nothing, and that is pretty cool.